Very nice. Now, did you write that song?
No, that's actually an old Stephen Stills song.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Crosby, Stills, Nash.
They're touring. They're like doing a show.
Actually played that song at Woodstock.
Okay. Well, I wasn't there.
Tanisha,
I know people
can I
that
get
were there,
anything from my iPod?
Like my
here?
friend's big sister went. And
now I'm really showing my age.
Oh, well, come on. We all wished we were at Woodstock. I wished I was at Woodstock. I mean, I wished I was like a big person in the 60s because the 60s were so cool. I just had this conversation with someone recently how, like, the 60s to me, like the 50s to the 60s, was the biggest change of a decade of, I think, any in history.
Oh, yeah.
Of any. Like, just even fashion, like, you know, like the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. If you look at movies, the clothes are kind of the same. But when it goes from 50s to 60s, everything flipped. It went from, like, tight this to...
I mean, civil rights, women's rights...
Everything. And even, like, the 60s to the 70s, 80s, 90s now it's like all just part of the 60s.
Yeah, what happened?
It's just the same.
Even in the music.
It's all the same. The 50s, exactly, 50s, 60s. That's like the divider of history and future. I really do feel that way.
It's almost as if when disco came out, history seemed to stop in some ways.
Except the clothes couldn't have been the disco clothes without the 60s. The 60s made it happen. I really believe that 50s, 60s thing.
What are you talking about?
Just that decade from 50s to 60s was the decade that went from like here and back and here and forward. I feel that's the divider.
You think something ended at the 60s and then something started?
Yeah, I think that those decades like changed from like tight this to like free crazy. And I think the free
Eva,
and crazy...
what do you think? Eva, what do you think about this whole thing?
She needs a mic if she's going to contribute. Come.
Pass her a mic. Eva, can you get in?
Pass that mic, man. Take a big hit off that mic, Eva.
Eva's in college right now.
That's actually what I'm studying.
I think a lot of us are really far removed, really, from any type of social, type, you know, significant, like, social awareness right now, other than what's in the paper. I mean, even right now, she's in school. She's studying it.
She's in the now.
She's in the now. Exactly. She's in that now of it. What do you think about that, about this whole thing, Eva?
I mean, I think a lot of things. I have to condense. I mean, I agree that it was a big change from the 50s to 60s, but I think that it was a lot of repressed, I guess, expression that really just in the 60s that was the time when it could be expressed, so that's why it was such a big change. And I think that it kind of that change stayed in the 60s because I think that now everything that's a response to that is really a lower scale, and I think that the consciousness, like the social and political consciousness of individuals from the 60s has really been washed out in generations of today and in the youth especially. So,
Rue, why can't you be more like your daughter?
She wishes the same thing.